ويبشر المؤمنين الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا كبيرا.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Sura Al Baqara, verse number 246. ألم تر إلى الملأ من بني إسرائيل. Have you not regarded the elites, the leaders of Israelites? من بعد موسى إذ قالوا لنبي له مبعث لنا ملكا. After Musa, when they told their prophet that appoint for us a king, نقاتل في سبيل الله. They wanted to fight in the way of Allah, so they needed a king to be their commander. قال هل عسيتم إن كتب عليكم القتال ألا تقاتلوا. But the prophet was suspicious. So he said, would you not refrain from fighting once it is prescribed for you? Now what did they answer? قالوا وما لنا ألا نقاتل في سبيل الله وقد أخرجنا من ديارنا وأبنائنا. They said, no, we are serious, we will fight. Why shouldn't we fight while we are driven out from our homes, our children? أخرجنا. أخرجنا comes from إخراج, means to expel, to drive away, to drive out. So we may think that Bani Israel, Israelites, their lands were occupied by an enemy and they were driven out of their homes. But Allah says here, ikhraj does not necessarily mean to be driven out of your house. It's a metaphorical expression here. You see, when someone is driven out of his land, now he has no access to his property, he has no access to his house, he has no access to his land, and he cannot make use of them. So he cannot have any disposal over them. Now imagine a person who is in his land, but there is a cruel king who imposes on him many restrictions so that he cannot exercise his right. So this person also is like the person who is driven out of his house. So Allah says it shows that a cruel king was ruling over Israelites, and they say that as they described their situation as if they have been driven out of their houses. And an indication for this meaning is abna'ina, because it says min diyarina wa abna'ina, from our homes and our children. Ikhraj does not make sense with children. It makes sense with a place, to be driven out, to be expelled from a place, but not from a person or from some persons. So here it means that we don't have free access to our properties, to our children. فَلَمَّا كُتِبَ عَلَيْهِمُ الْقِتَالُ تَوَلَّوْا. Although they had promised, but when God prescribed for them jihad and fighting in His way, تَوَلَّوْا. No, they turned away. إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. Except a few of them. So just a small number of them, they remained faithful to their promise. Allahu alimun bil-zalimin. وقال لهم نبيهم إن الله قد بعث لكم طالوت ملكا. The prophet told them that God has appointed Talut. Talut in biblical literature is named Saul. God appointed Saul as your king. قالوا أَنَّا يَكُونُ لَهُ الْمُلْكُ عَلَيْنَا وَنَحْنُ أَحَقُّ بِالْمُلْكِ مِنْهُ وَلَمْ يُؤْتَ سَعَةً مِنَ الْمَالِ. Now they objected. How he can be our king? We deserve more to be the king. He has no wealth. You see, Israelites, they had in mind that the prophethood and the kingdom, they must come from specific houses in Bani Israel, in Israelites. So from this household, from this house, come all prophets. So after Musa, there were many prophets in Bani Israel, but they had in mind that these prophets, they come from that family. And the kings in the past, the kings that they had in the past, they also came from another family. But Saul did not belong to any of these two families. And they did not consider bada possible. Bada, a shift in decisions and what is determined by God. They thought that if something was determined in the past, it must remain so forever, and there is no possibility of any change. And we have other verses in the Quran which shows this belief held by the Jews. وَقَالَتِ الْيَهُودُ يَدُ اللَّهِ مَغْلُولَةً. They said that God's hands are tied. It is explained by narrations that by مَغْلُولَة, it means that they did not believe in Bada. So if it was decided by God that the prophets come from this family or kings come from that family, God can have a new decision now to change the situation and to decide that the king must come from a new family. قال إن الله اصطفاه عليكم وزاده بسطة في العلم والجسم والله يؤتي ملكه من يشاء والله واسع عليم. Then you see, Allah يؤتي ملكه من يشاء is a key phrase here. God is the one who decides to whom He gives kingdom. But and Allah اصطفاه عليكم also explains that God's decisions are not arbitrary. They have a wisdom behind. And Allah اصطفاه عليكم وزاده بسطة في العلم والجسم. So He has capabilities in knowledge, physical capabilities. So what a king must possess, he has. والله واسع عليم. واسع means, literally wاسع means wide. If a place is wide enough to accommodate many people, it is wاسع. So compared to places, one is wide, the other one is tight. So the tight one has no capacity for accommodating more people. So it is an instance of inability and weakness and failure, while the wide one can accommodate more and more. So a rich person and a poor person, when we compare these two, a poor person, when he buys something, doesn't have any money to buy the second thing because his money is limited. But a rich person, he has enough wealth. He can buy this, that, and then also there are extra money to buy something new. So he doesn't show inability and weakness. Now, Allahu wasi'un alim. Wasi' here means that God is rich. God can do whatever He wants. Alim, but His power is in line with His knowledge. His decisions are not arbitrary. وقال لهم نبيهم إن آية ملكه أن يأتيكم التابوت. Now some signs are presented as or a sign is presented as the sign of Talut, Saul being a king appointed by God. Here the prophet of Bani Israel talks about Tabut, chest or Ark of Covenant, something that in the time of Musa it was considered very holy by people. According to some riwayat, some narrations, that was the very box in which Moses' mother, Musa alayhi salam's mother, put him when he was a baby to rescue him and put that in the river. According to some hadith, that was Tabut. And later on, Musa alayhi salam put some items there, such as the tablets, al-wah, that he received from Allah, and also his armor, and then those items were passed to his wasi, that was Yusha bin Nun, and always it was regarded as a manifest sign of Allah among Bani Israel. But according to some ahadith, one of which Allama Tabatabai narrates in his tafsir, the coming generations of Bani Israel did not respect that divine sign, and even after a while the kids started playing with it in the streets, and then it disappeared from among them. Now the Prophet of Bani Israel tells them that inna ayata mulki, the sign of Saul's kingdom, is that Tabut will come to you. The Tabut which had been missing now comes to you. فيه سكينة من ربكم وبقية مما ترك آل موسى وآل هارون, in which there is tranquility, sakina, for you, for Bani Israel. And بقية مما ترك آل موسى, the relics left behind by آل Musa and آل Harun, the people of Musa, or we can say the household of Musa and the household of Harun, some items belonging to them which were left after them. Alu Musa, all means the close family members of a person, his household, including himself. So Alu Musa includes Musa, and Alu Harun includes Harun. So something which belonged to Musa alayhi salam also may be contained in that tabut. إن في ذلك لآية لكم إن كنتم مؤمنين. فلما فصل طالوت بالجنود. فصل in Arabic is used both in transitive and intransitive forms. So here in this ayah, فلما فصل, it is intransitive. It means to leave a place. Transitive فصل means to cut something, but intransitive means to leave a place. When Saul with his troops, they left the place. They set out for the war. Al-Junud is the plural of Al-Jund. Jund means army, huge number of people. Junud is the plural of that. It shows it was a big number. And here Allama points to an important matter, that imagine that Bani Israel, there were so many that in the beginning, فَلَمَّا كُتِبَ عَلَيْهِمُ الْقِتَالِ تَوَلَّوْا إِلَّا قَلِيلًا مِنْهُمْ, in the 3-4 verses before. The first verse I recited here in this file, God says, تَوَلَّوْا إِلَّا قَلِيلًا مِنْهُمْ. They turned away, they did not fight except few of them. So that was the first stance. When divine command was issued about jihad, about fighting, many of them, they left. They turned away. Only few of them, قَلِيلًا مِنْهُمْ, they expressed their readiness. Now this qalil are themselves junud, are so many that not only jund, not the singular form of jund, junud, the plural form is used. So still there are so many. But again, we will continue the story. We see that when they reach the river, many break that promise and drink from water. And just a group of them, they remained with Saul. So a small group remaining from a small group, which are excluded from the total number of Bani Israel, they go to fight with Jalut, Goliath, and they defeat Goliath. Let's continue the ayah. قَالَ إِنَّ اللَّهَ مُبْتَلِيكُمْ بِنَهَرٍ فَمَنْ شَرِبَ مِنْهُ. God will test you with a stream, with a river of water. فَمَنْ شَرِبَ مِنْهُ فَلَيْسَ مِنِّي. Whoever drinks from it does not belong to me. He's not with me. وَمَنْ لَمْ يَطْعَمْهُ فَإِنَّهُ مِنِّي. Whoever does not taste it, he will be from me. He belongs to me. إِلَّا مَنْ اغْتَرَفَ غُرْفَةً بِيَدِهِ. Except those who take from water as much as it fills a hand. So here Allama says that first we think that there are two groups: those who belong to soul, who are his people, and those who are opposite. But when we look carefully into the verse, we see that there are three groups. A group who are opposed, we can say, to Talut. They disobey him. Those who drank from the river. And a group of مَنْ لَمْ يَطْعَمْهُ, those who did not taste at all. Nothing. They are فَإِنَّهُ مِنِّي. It says وَمَنْ لَمْ يَطْعَمْهُ فَإِنَّهُ مِنِّي. Those who did not taste at all, they are my people. And there are a third group which are in between. They are not opposed, but they are not also so close to Talut. مَنْ اغْتَرَفَ غُرْفَةً بِيَدِهِ. Those who just take a handful of water. فَشَرِبُوا مِنْهُ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا مِنْهُمْ فَلَمَّا جَاوَزَهُ هُوَ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مَعَهُ. Now, those group, that those who opposed and those who objected, or can say, sorry, those who disobeyed Talut's command, okay, they left. Now, Talut with his people, those who did not taste, and also those who took a handful of water, these two groups, they go together to the war against Jalut. قالوا لا طاقة لنا اليوم بجالوت وجنوده. But when they saw Jalut, Goliath and his army, they said لا طاقة لنا اليوم. Now we are not able to fight them. قال الذين يظنون أنهم ملاقو الله كم من فئة. So we see a conversation took place within the army of Talut, of Saul. A group of them, they show weakness. They say we are not able to fight. Another group from the same army, they respond. They say, no, there have been many small groups which managed to defeat big armies. So this conversation, when we look at to the nature of the conversation, we realize that those who responded, they are indeed those who did not taste at all from the river, those whose faith was stronger, those who had pure iman. Wallahu ma'a sabirin. ولما برزوا لجالوت وجنوده قالوا ربنا أفرغ علينا صبرا. Baraza comes from buruz, means ظهور, appearance. When they marched out to appear in a war, when the army appears in the war, especially, baraza is mostly used for these situations. ولما برزوا لجالوت, Jalut, Goliath, وجنوده, and his army, قالوا ربنا أفرغ علينا صبرا وثبت أقدامنا وانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. أفرغ means to pour. When you pour a liquid into a container, it is أفرغ. So sabr means patience and steadfastness and perseverance. It is likened to water which is poured into a container. So they ask God that give us sabr and fill our capacity with that. You see, أفرغ علينا, fill our capacity, because you fill a container with water. Fill our capacity with that strength, that sabr. وثبت أقدامنا. Thabbit means to make something firm, not to let it move. Aqdam means feet. Don't let our feet move. It means that don't let us run away from the war. Again, it's a metaphorical expression, a beautiful metaphorical expression in this ayah. وَانصُرْنَا عَلَى الْقَوْمِ الْكَافِرِينَ فَهَزَمُوهُمْ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. So by Allah's leave, they defeated them. So the army of Saul managed to defeat Goliath's army وَقَتَلَ دَاوُودُ جَالُوتَ, and Dawood killed Goliath. وَآتَاهُ اللَّهُ الْمُلْكَ وَالْحِكْمَةَ وَعَلَّمَهُ مِمَّا يَشَاءُ. So kingdom, wisdom, knowledge was given to Dawood. وَلَوْلَا دَفْعُ اللَّهِ النَّاسَ بَعْضَهُمْ بِبَعْضٍ لَفَسَدَتِ الْأَرْضِ وَلَكِنَّ اللَّهَ ذُو فَضْلٍ عَلَى الْعَالَمِينَ. This ayah, this phrase of the ayah, refers to a general fact. Allah says, لَوْلَا دَفْعُ اللَّهِ, many may think it talks about fights and wars between people, while that is only an example of that. And this fact is more general. You can translate it, and most translators of the Quran, they say that if God had not impelled a group of people by another group, لَفَسَدَتِ الْأَرْضِ, the earth would have corrupted. Allah says, let's start with fasadat. What does fasadat mean here? The corruption of the earth. Does it mean that the rivers, the mountains, the forests, they would have corrupted? Allah says no. There is no clear connection between the corruption of the nature and daf'ullah al-nas. So here, by fasadat al-ard means the corruption of the human societies, the human communities. So the communal life of people, it would have corrupted. So daf'ullah al-nas is a key element of maintaining the stability of the society, of the community. And what is that? Allah here says that every individual person, for his material life, now we are not talking about hereafter, no, in this worldly life, he needs other people, because man is created in a way that cannot fulfill all his needs alone. It's not like some animals who can fulfill all their needs alone. So human must employ other humans, must employ other people in order to fulfill his needs. And this way the human society is formed. So the basic element of founding a society is al-istikhdam, to employ one another, to take benefit from one another in order to achieve our objectives and to fulfill our needs. So when I need something, I need some water, I need some food, I need shelter, I cannot make them all myself. I need to take benefit from you. So I need to impose now my will on you. I don't mean that it must be done in an unjust way. No, it can be done in a reasonable and in a just manner. But anyway, it must be done. I mean, I should take benefit from you. So this fact, this reality, is dafa. Daf'ullah an-nas ba'dahum bi-ba'd, so that a group of people or any person who imposes his will on the other person, it has positive and negative examples. So sometimes it is done in a way which is cruel, which is not just, like the bloody wars that take place by a cruel king, and sometimes it is done in a rightful manner. So daf'ullah an-nas ba'dahum bi-ba'd refers to this general fact and reality in the life of human being in this planet, and in general it is positive. It can be misused by some people. We have negative examples, as I said, but in general it is something good. And thus Allah says لَوْلَا دَفْعُ اللَّهِ النَّاسَ بَعْضَهُمْ بِبَعْضٍ does not refer just to the wars between mu'mineen and kuffar, between the faithful and the disbelievers. No, This is just one example of that. And it's not only about the wars and fighting. As we said, it's very general, and it includes many different aspects of the communal life. تِلْكَ آيَاتُ اللَّهِ نَتْلُوهَا عَلَيْكَ بِالْحَقِّ. These are the verses of Allah, or the signs of Allah, that we recite. And you وَإِنَّكَ لَمِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ. Allah says, it shows that this is the end of the story of Bani Israel, and إِنَّكَ لَمِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ, it is the beginning of a new topic which continues in the coming verses. وَالسَّلَامُ عَلَيْكُمْ وَرَحْمَةُ اللَّهِ وَبَرَكَاتُهُ.